Hi everyone, I'm here with Maya Pletak. She's the head of one of the undergraduate student council here in Columbia University. And we're going to have a short conversation about the events that happened right here in the past couple of months. Maya, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot. So I think the first question, maybe the obvious one, is what does the head of the student council, the undergraduate student council, doing nowadays?
So specifically in the context of this, I want to emphasize that as student council president, my job is to represent the student body as a whole. So that means I have to make sure that I'm representing everybody's problems and issues, and this isn't the only issue on the ground. However, as my undergraduate college has the most Israeli students in the US actually, specifically, as well as hosts the TAU Columbia dual degree, it is very, very important for me that I am appropriately representing them and making sure that there is no incident of discrimination that is going ignored by the student council. Going forward, I want to make sure that I can do whatever I can to protect them and bring their voices to the administration to try to counter any of the discrimination and anti-Semitism that we've seen on this campus. But I can act as a liaison between like the student body and the administration, as well as like voice our like opinion that it's completely unacceptable that there are students that are advocating for the removal of an entire subset of Columbia students, specifically those in the dual degree, which is what one of the demands of the protesters are. And as their president, I have to make sure that they also feel comfortable here. But at the same time, again, I can't just represent them, and I'm here to represent everybody and all of their issues. So it's like a balancing act, I would say.
So being the representative of everyone, how do you explain the fact that you were elected as an Israeli here in such a, I'll say, kind of harshly hostile environment?
So I would say that specifically my undergraduate college, which is mostly catered to non-traditional students and has a lot of dual degrees with like the Jewish Theological Seminary, the TAU dual degree, and also hosts many Israelis, actually hosts a lot of moderates in general that are very, very interested in participating in communication and dialogue, specifically on this issue, which was something that I specifically advocated for in my campaign, and I think a lot of people resonated with that. I think that the fact that communication and dialogue has been completely a deadlock here has frustrated a lot of students, the vast majority of students, specifically in my college at least. And I think that was what enabled me to be elected. Moreover, beyond that, I would say that I'm also very, very outspoken and not afraid of talking about like things that make other people uncomfortable. I'm always ready to stand up for what's right. That means like during previous times in student council, I was very vocal, even if it was unpopular of me to be. And in addition to that, I've also been one of the main voices specifically counteracting anti-Semitism since the very beginning. I started talking specifically about what was going on campus in October. So I think a lot of students think that I will be able to voice their issues, and they feel that I'm a reliant voice because I'm here to represent them. I think a lot of people see that.
So what exactly is this protest? Who organizes it? Who participates in it? Is it students from inside the campus, people from outside the campus?
So I would say that it's both. You have students from campus that are participating. You have people from outside that are sneaking into campus specifically to participate in these protests. You also have professors that are participating in these protests or enabling them. But I'm very reluctant to put the blame entirely on the students because I think that they've been misguided in many ways through the media, through specifically the only news outlets that they look at, for example, which has been what's like considered appropriate on campus is Al Jazeera, Middle East Eye, Democracy Now! Anything else beyond that, even if like at times we're very critical of them for not being actually very fair in their coverage, is considered too right-wing to be considered like a legitimate source. So firstly, they're getting their information this way. Moreover, on top of that, you have professors that have specifically spent since October 7th trying to justify Hamas and building this narrative up on this campus.
Is this phenomenon a temporary trend? Do you think it will pass away anywhere in the future, anytime in the future?
So I was initially hopeful that would be the case. I was hoping that this summer would enable the university to reset, and that going into September, we wouldn't be at that heightened state of tension that we were at the very end of the last semester. But I'm becoming more and more reluctant to believe that. Firstly, since the summer started, there have been protests, even though you don't see any right now. 2 weeks ago, during the alumni reunion weekend, there was a big encampment that was stationed on campus. So they are targeting bigger events and bigger like reunions on campus to make a statement and continuing the protest. Beyond that, you have professors that are continuing to post on X rather anti-Semitic rhetoric, such as that Jewish organizations are controlling the university, things like that, which has indicated that that sort of rhetoric is going to continue going forward. And that anti-Semitism is completely acceptable now, which is completely atrocious. Beyond that, we saw that the university hasn't done that much specifically to shut down a lot of the anti-Semitism and discrimination and harassment that occurred on campus. So I think that that's kind of given a lot of students the leeway to think that what they were doing is acceptable, and that going forward, a lot of students are going to feel more emboldened to do so.
Maya, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. We wish you the best of luck in your new position, and we hope to see you soon in Reyhan University.
Love to come visit. Thank you so much.
So much.